virtual Big B Meetup, Qatar's popular community outreach initiative. Founded in 2018, and in 2020, the pandemic brought about its virtual and virtual real editions. It aims to inspire, to inform, to educate, and bring communities together. It is inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate, and dedicated to my mother. Today, as we celebrate Qatar Environment Day, we play host to two eco activists, young Maryam Al Hajri and young Ihsan Malik, too. Welcome, guys.
Hi,
Uh,
thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much, and we are so proud to be in the live show with Bosco. Of course, Big B Meetup is one of a big platform to aware the people regarding many topics. Thank you for inviting.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Ihsan. Thank you, Maryam. Well, let us start with Maryam. Maryam, please could you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Well, my name is Maryam Al Hajri. I'm the founder of Save Our Ocean, the social network SaveOurOcean.qa, and the writer of Let's Save Our Earth Together, the kids book that I'll be talking more about later on. Well, my journey started like long ago, a few years ago, before COVID hit. I chose to open this social network to spread awareness on an issue that wasn't really talked about. And I opened the Instagram account and I decided to, like spread awareness and educate others. I have a strong passion of leading by example and educating the younger generation on worldwide issues. And I chose to talk about plastic pollution and ocean pollution.
Lovely. That's a lovely introduction. Thank you very much, Maryam. Over to you, Ihsan.
Hello, Qatar. My name is Ihsanuddin Malik. Basically, I'm from Pakistan, but I am here in Qatar since 2017. It's almost 5 years. My journey to the sustainability in environmental activities, it started from actually from the college days, like you can say 99 2000, but I was not that serious, and uh, I didn't know about environment activities or and all about climate change and all. Seriously, I started in 2012 when I was in UAE in Dubai. uh, I started my journey with the solo cleanups. I find out that single individual person can do uh, anything to the environment. So I started my journey with the solo cleanups, and then slowly, I joined some other environmental activities like sessions, live sessions, eco group cleanups, and all. So my journey starts since 2012, and here in Qatar, I started in 2007 with a group and solo cleanups and all.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Ihsan, for that introduction. Fantastic. Let's go back to Maryam. So, Maryam, when did your love for the environment take shape and why and how?
Okay, so let's go back a few years ago, maybe 2019. Um, I started to like realize how big of a problem plastic pollution was. I would scroll through Instagram and I would see like fish with like plastic in their stomach, or I would see, but like I didn't really realize how, like I didn't know what's plastic pollution, what's ocean pollution. I didn't care. Let's say that no one, I saw that no one cared, so I didn't think I had to care. So when I saw that this was actually becoming a problem, I thought, you know what, let's try to research about this and let's try to educate myself because I had no idea. I had no idea that, my country and like the people here are polluting it without even knowing they're polluting it. So I thought, what is going on? Let me learn about this issue. So I researched and I found out like plastic pollution is something very serious and it's becoming major and it's something that we all need to work on and improve since we don't really have time before it's too late. So I started the initiative of trying to educate others and educating the youth, especially since that was my focus, because I saw that none of my generation cared, no one in the youth cared. I thought that it wasn't a serious issue. So I said, if you start something and you start leading by example, people will start following into your footsteps and understanding how serious issues can be. Because when you see someone your age doing something, you'd want to follow them and understand that, okay, since they're doing it, I think this is serious. I think we all need to start taking action. So my journey started a few years ago when I realized that this is an important issue. This is something we all need to know about. This is something we all need to educate others about, because no one knows about it. So that was the initiative.
Wow. Very proud of you, Maryam.
Thank you.
You're going to go a long way. This is fantastic. Maryam? What are your immediate eco goals? I believe you're still at school, high school.
Yeah, I'm a student at high school at Qatar Academy Doha. Well, my goals are, like, my main goal is to educate the youth and the younger generation on worldwide issues. And I started off with ocean pollution and plastic pollution, because if I educate others, more people can start taking action, more people can start educating each other, because that's how it's like a game of dominoes. One teaches the other, and it keeps on going down that way. So my goal was, and still is to educate the younger generation and the youth on climate action and how we can take climate action, because I didn't know how we should take climate action. No one knows, because everyone says start taking action today before tomorrow. So I said, how are we supposed to take action? You're telling me to take action, but what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? Do we have recycling centers in Qatar? Are there people who actually care about this issue? So the goal is to educate and tell the people in Qatar, tell the youth that there are steps we can take, even if they're little and tiny little actions, like stop using plastic straws.
Yeah, well, actually, straws are something really. They're so tiny, but they are so huge in quantity, and they really mess up the ecosystem and the environment. Well said, Maryam. Keeping with Maryam, as I was scrolling through your Instagram page, you do a lot with school children. Is it from your own school, or do you go around other schools also, educating them and teaching them about the environment?
I'm starting off with my own school, and after I posted that I visited the Qatar Academy primary school, I was invited by a few other schools, and hopefully in the future you're going to see on my account that I visited a few other schools. I won't say which ones, you just have to stay tuned. That I've been invited, and like go into those schools, and hopefully soon I'll be there and I'll read the story and I'll educate the younger generation and primary kids about this issue.
Lovely, great. Talking of youth and children and climate, you represented Qatar at in Italy for Youth for Climate Driving Ambition. Well, I can see you have great ambition. You exude a lot of ambition in the way you speak. Can you give us a little insights into what you did at the Youth for Climate Driving Ambition?
Of course.
I'm sure you made some friends there.
Of course. I traveled with, unfortunately, I was lucky enough to be chosen to go with a couple of my friends. We were invited to go to Youth for Climate, and we were sponsored by Time in Qatar, a QF initiative. So we went to Youth for Climate, and our goal was we had a panel, and that panel we talked about, the actions we've taken and like how we can improve, and like mainly focused on the youth. And so I got the opportunity to speak there. I got the opportunity to sit down and speak in front of a live audience. Thank God it wasn't virtual. So I sat there and I talked about my initiative, and I talked about how we can all work together. We talked about like how can we get the youth's attention? How can we start? Everyone says, try to educate youth, but how can we do that? And that was the main part, and that was our main focus, and like the actions we've taken. Because if you do something, others are going to be interested in it, and would like to be doing what you're doing. So yeah, we went there, and it was a couple of days, and we got to see a few environment ambassadors. It was such a great experience, and we got to hear from the youth envoy as well, but under the United Nations. We got to hear from her and hear her perspective. which was a great like experience. Getting to see that people are actually listening to the voice of the youth, and you're not just talking to no one, and talking about how important it is. Including the youth voice on the table discussions.
Fantastic. And when was this? Pre-COVID?
This was no, it was during COVID, but it was when like stuff was getting better before we got hit again with the phase 4. It was during October, and actually it was really surprising. The conference there, it was 100% zero plastic, which was something you'd never see. Like even the plastic there was made out of cornstarch, so it was biodegradable, and like the cups, it was all paper cups, and it was all sustainable. And the food there, it was all like you'd be surprised if you go there and you see it was zero plastic.
Lovely. Well, you might be surprised. We had a Big B meetup pre-COVID, Istidama, at Barzan, the heritage site, now UNESCO site, and we had no plastic there. We used only paper, cups, and glass, with Rayan bottles sponsoring the event
Bottles,
there.
yeah.
Were you there, Ihsan?
Yeah, I was there.
Of course. Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
It was nice. And
that was nice.
Shreya had a lovely decoupage artwork.
Yeah, actually, I came to help her. I was invited by her. I even didn't hear about you. So that day I know you, and I introduced. Shreya
Fantastic.
introduces me to you that day, and that was fantastic.
Yeah,
You can say event, and I really innovate to get this kind of events
yeah,
again in Barzan. Barzan is a nice place, and
absolutely. Well,
I hope
well,
I hope you do in future.
inshallah, we are in talks. I am in talks with Qatar Museums. We should have that something soon. Talking of Shreya and decoupage, today they had a lovely program at the Quranic Botanic Gardens
Yeah, yes,
with
yes,
Greener Future, Aisha and Wahab, and Shreya. It was a lovely
yes.
event. So let's go to Ehsan. Ehsan, give us insights into your journey. I mean, you said you started in 2012. That's amazing. And you frightened me a little earlier. You frightened me a little earlier today when you told me that, Maryam, you should listen to this one. Ehsan, how many beach cleanups have you done in total?
I will explain it a little bit. Like I will not use the word beach with that
Okay.
because let me come to the first thing. Like my journey started in 2012 when I was working in Dubai, and I joined one of the session. I forget that one, but it was in some English school, and they talk about plastic pollution. They talk about climate change. They talk about many things, So I was motivated that day, 2012. Uh, and that was, I remember that was Thursday, the program in evening. So next day was a Friday, and I missed my cricket match, and I go there, and I take the bag, and I go to the beach, and I started my first solo cleanup in October. So it's not only beach cleanup. I started my cleanups. You name it, like streets. I did it in labor areas. I did it in bicycle tracks, walking tracks, beaches, mangroves. Uh, you can say industrial areas, residential areas, societies. Uh, Wherever I get the garbages, the plastic things, I
Yeah.
get about the bag from my car and I start doing it. And as well, I will add it underwater cleanup. I started actually in Qatar. Sometime I do diving. Sometime I use like kind of use my hand to take out the broken glasses, scrap cans which can hurt people, and as well
Mashallah.
underwater cleanup is one of, like, you can say, so dangerous for the sea life.
Yes, absolutely.
So we have to respect the sea life as they are living things, as
Yeah,
trees are living things, plants are living things. So
true.
it's not only that we have to aware the people, we have to aware them, especially for the sea life. I will not say that what is the count, but as I calculated, it's like around 7K plus something solo cleanups I did.
7,000
Uh,
cleanups.
Wow.
That
Something like that in these 10 years.
solo cleanups or in
Solo cleanups, yeah.
that
Groups I did maybe around 160, 150, something like that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that could be a world record, or at least a Qatar record for sure, or a GCC
Um,
record. You know,
Actually, it's not about a record. It's about like, as Mariam said, about awareness. Uh, like sometime when I go to the beaches, like on Friday, you will say, people they are enjoying their parties, their picnics and all, and I'm simply take out my bag and my stick and I start clean up the side of the beach, and I feel sometime the people they come to me and they say, "Ah, you're doing so good job. Can you give one back to my boy? Can you give one back to my girl?" And I
yeah,
feel so good. Like, see, it's not about 7,000 or 10,000 or record. It's about like what exactly you're feeling for the climate change and for the planet. So my journey started with the solo cleanups is one of the part, and then environmental activities, and then the bigger part is planting trees, and the
yes,
very important thing is reduce, reuse, and recycle.
yeah. I was
This
gonna
is the
go that.
best way.
Could you please show us your T-shirt? It's a beautiful T-shirt you wore.
I'm wearing it in a public most of time. Let the people read it. Okay, what is reduce, reuse, recycle? Reduce, reuse, recycle is one of I will say like we have a powerful weapon to reduce the plastic pollution,
Yeah.
which is so dangerous for our planet, especially in this situation. Like
How?
I was reading the National Geographic report that day that you can say like 10 million ton is in the seas. It's flowing there. Imagine what happened. I mean, what will happen to the sea life? So we have to focus on these important things, and we have to
Yeah.
keep continue
Very
doing
true.
cleanups and all.
Another thing that I noticed is you got some stuff around you. But before you explain that, let me go to there's a question coming from Boris Johnson. I don't know if this is the same Boris from the UK, but hey, how can we get people to adapt a sustainable lifestyle? That question's for Mariam, but I would like even Ehsan to answer that. But first, Mariam, please. Yeah.
All right, sure. Obviously trying to get like to tell people, stop doing this. You don't want to force something, because at the end of the day, when you force something on someone, no one would want to do it. It's really trying to make them feel empathetic, because at the end of the day, we're harming ourselves. So not just educating, because educating is important, but also making sure people understand that at the end of the day, when we're done like polluting our ocean, there's no saving we can do. We're gonna be harmed. We're the one where it's gonna turn around. So making sure people understand how serious this issue is, and it's not just some couple of people talking about climate action and talking about saving our ocean. It's not just some climate activists. It's actually something that's very, very important, and it's something that should be, taken action, and not just words, and not just like words are can help, but obviously when action is taken, there's a huge difference. So making sure people understand how serious the problem is, and it's not just like fish that are dying, because at the end of the day, this can turn around and we can end up dying. We can end up being the people who are dying.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's just adapting the sustainable lifestyle is not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy, because plastics are something that's very synonymous, especially here in Qatar. It's used everywhere. You know, everyone uses plastic. No matter how much of an activist you are, you still somehow, some way end up having plastic up in your way somewhere. So it's not
True.
easy. It's not an easy lifestyle to adapt.
But what do
So
you?
it's
Sorry, Mariam. What do you think of Qatar banning the use of single-use plastic bags? Like I think the UAE or Dubai has just done that. They're starting a ban of single-use plastic bags in the UAE or Dubai. The government of Dubai.
actually Qatar is working on that, because I know that like some people in my school, the activist and action team, are working on creating they have a petition, and that if they get a specific, I'm not sure, like I don't know how many signatures they need, but if they get a specific amount of signatures, they're going to be able to ban plastic, single-use plastic, which is something that's going to be very impressive. um, I think it's something that should be done sooner than later,
Yeah,
because they're everywhere. Plastic is everywhere. So
very true. Very true. Ehsan, would you like to fill in on you add to that on the question that Boris had?
Sure.
How can we get people in to adapt a sustainable lifestyle?
See, I'll make it very easy.
Understood.
Since we can say like the time we are now, we are in completely in digital life. I mean, we are in technology life. Even you see 10 years old boy, he have mobile, right? So what is the use of mobile? We have to aware people through social media, through sessions or physical activities, like to explain them and advertise them that how to sustain your house, yourself, around people, your neighbors. It start from your house. I mean,
Yeah,
for
true.
example, I'll give you example as I'm telling you about. Look at that bottle. See, I bought this bottle, right?
Yeah.
See,
Wow,
if I'm
nice.
refilling it two times a day, I am saving two plastic bottles. I'm not buying it. So sustainable life is not only to think about or talk about it. It's about many things.
Tupperware.
Yep. So reusable mask, reusable bags for shopping, and the very important thing I'm talking about, like we buy many old things. Like this is a aloe vera. The benefit of
Lovely.
aloe vera is it's cleaning the environment. Also, it's catching all the bacteria. Look
Yeah.
at this. Is a plastic cooking oil can. So I
Okay.
cut it in two parts and I put in two plants. So I'm talking about sustainable life is like we have to reduce, we have to take care of the things, we have to switch off the lights where we don't need it, we don't need
Yeah.
over lights. We have, we will try to, if we are going for the cars, vehicles, we will try to take uh, something like eco cars, which is running in below 80, it's running on the battery, so we can save some fuel, because fuel is the one destroying the pollution. I'm sorry to say to
Yes,
the
very
business
true.
people, but that's the truth. So to keep sustainable yourself, you have to start from the house, and you have to look in your house what
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
important to buy and what is important to buy and what is easy to recycle. So we
Very.
can recycle many things in our house. We can
Yeah.
reuse many things in our house. We can send the reusable bottles, reusable tiffins to the kids with the school, and many other things.
Yeah. Ehsan, you're actually talking, walking your talk, and you're living a sustainable lifestyle yourself. But what I like very much and most about you is how you donated a plant at the last sustainable event that I had in October. That Maryam
Myself.
also took part at ISL Qatar, the school
Yes,
where the
yes,
lovely forest school project is taking shape. And you donated a lovely plant there because I requested people to come in with plants, and
yes,
you
yes.
donated a plant. Can you tell me more about your donate a plant campaign, or your planting a tree campaign? Because I want to align it with, I mean, I'm sure you have done it too, with the campaign that the Qatar government is doing, not just towards the World
Yes,
Cup,
yes,
but
yes, yes.
towards the Qatar 2030 vision of planting a million or 10 million trees, or a million
Since
trees, I
I'm
think.
since I belongs to the green mountains, like where I live, it's all green mountains. So
Lovely.
when I talk to my grand grand grandparents, and they talk about the grandparent stories, it's a chain. They
Yeah,
said these mountains were just a stones, just the plain stones. What happened? They started the campaign. It's not about that we are started. So when I was in my country, I started campaign around the cities or provinces on the school and then the college level, that everywhere, like normally you say February, March, and October. These are the months where you can start planting your tree. These are the times where the plants are taking water
true.
properly. They're getting their roots properly and all. So we planted many trees in schools. In the areas where there is there is just plain places, and we try to take some amounts from people, from rich people, and then we buy some plants and some other materials and all, and we started do it. Since Qatar, everywhere when there is a time of uh, plantings, I always keep storing the plants, small flowers and all, and I keep trying to donate to some schools or other places. And also, I am so happy about Qatar that they are pledged for the 10
Yeah,
million trees by 2030, and I'm
true.
so proud that I'm a part of that. So planting trees is one of very important part of our life to reduce the humidity and to make the environment more clean and all, observing pollution.
Absolutely.
I will add one point after, if you want to ask some question from Maryam. I will add one point regarding the mangroves after, once you ask her.
Sure. Well, Elizabeth has a question for you. Now, Elizabeth has been on the show. She's a very big fan of Big B meetups, and she also is the president of the American Women's Association of Qatar. So she has a
I know
lovely
her.
question for yeah, absolutely, you know her, yes. And Mariam, she has a question for you. Uh, she would like to know more about the single-use plastic bags ban. How does she find out more? How can she get more information, or would you be able to share something in the future?
The link is actually on my bio on the Instagram handle saveourocean.qa. If you search that up on Instagram right now and you search saveourocean.qa, and you're gonna find a link in my bio, and that's the petition for signing for banning single-use plastic. And there's more about, because I'm not a part, like I'm not gonna say I organized it. I'm not gonna take credit for something I didn't do, but our school planned it out, and like the activist and action team, we have an activist and action team who are very strong and amazing, to be honest. There are a bunch of kids who are working so hard, so very proud to say that I'm a part of that school. But you're gonna find the bio on my Instagram handle, on my Instagram account, under the page, and you can just sign it. It's a digital.
Nice. Talking of your Instagram page, could you please repeat the name and explain how did you start that page? Because it's beautiful, it's a lovely name, and give us some information about that.
Of course. My Instagram account is named saveourocean.qa. When I wrote it, obviously it wasn't like I wanted to have meaning. I wanted to have something that would catch like attention and like very clear and like understanding. Save our ocean. That's it. Saveourocean.qa. Well, obviously when it says save our ocean, it means that like, who's gonna save the ocean? It's obviously gonna be us. So I think that it was very like descriptive and obvious.
True, very nicely thought of. Uh, Boris has another question, and he's churning out beautiful questions. I really like this. He's helping me out here actually. Should we focus on instilling sustainability in children than exhausting our resources in changing the habits of the current generation? Well, I think it's like a catch-22 question, and I would say we should do both. But I would really lean on to instilling it into children because they are our
I
future.
strongly agree. Yeah, I
Yeah,
strongly agree, which is why my focus is the younger generation. I strongly agree with, instilling the habit of the habit of sustainability, and making sure they understand the importance of. You're welcome, Elizabeth. Making sure they understand the importance of climate action, and like making it just when you want to educate the younger generation, it's not easy. Like I'll talk about my book as well. When I was writing my book, I didn't want to make it harsh. I didn't want to say the animals are dying. I didn't want to scare them. You want to make them understand how serious an issue is without being harsh, because they're kids at the end of the day. They're sensitive. So
true.
yes, it's important to educate them young. It's important to get that habit, making sure they get used to like saying no to single-use plastic, saying this is bad, I shouldn't use this. Even though they need to know why it's bad, which is why, educating them, and I'll move on to my book right now, which is why, educating them is really, really important. So here, I have my book with me right here.
Yeah, well, hang on. Let us. Yeah, I was actually going to introduce the book, but yeah, go ahead. So, your book is named "Let's Save Our Earth Together." Please, how did you get? Please give us insights onto that book and what inspired you. How did you go about this book? How long did you take? And if I would say there are other couple of young kids like younger than you who would like to do something similar, imitate or replicate your book with their pictures and their story or sustainable story, how can they do that? Because this is wonderful. Please just run us by your book, a couple of pages and the cover, please, and where we can get the book.
Of course. So the book is labeled "Let's Save Our Earth Together." Very clear title. Let's Save Our Earth
Yeah,
Together. For a kid's book, you wanted to make it eye-catching. So
absolutely.
illustrations was really, really important. It plays a huge role. So obviously I don't know if you can see, but there's like two girls and then there are two girls and then a dog, which will be explained more when you open the story and you read a little bit more about it. So here it's just showing. And by the way, this book is for Qatari children, as you can see. I don't know if you can see, but this is Qatar Beach, and then there's the Corniche as well. So this book is done for Qatari children because my focus was to educate Qatari children, to start off with that, because people here don't really understand how serious this issue is. So starting at that age, I thought that it was very important. Um, well, it took me a really long time. Writing this book wasn't easy. Was not easy. People think that writing a kid's book was something easy. It wasn't. It was actually very, very difficult. Um, trying to change language, like trying to change the literacy level, was very hard because some words, like the book is about littering in Qatar. It's about littering and how it's the negative impacts of it. Kids don't know what littering is, so I had to explain that in the book. Or if, let's say there were a few other words that like I tried to make it very like trash, like really easy words that kids can understand.
Yeah.
So writing a kid's book was very hard. It took a long time to get the script done and to get the illustrations done. It took me
Yeah.
around like almost 3 to 4 months working on.
Did you do it during COVID?
Actually, the book just came out like recently, so I would say yes. COVID is still stuck with us, so
Fantastic.
yes, I did it during COVID.
I'd like to extend a helping hand in promoting the book with a couple of events in the future. I'd like to. So how is this book on sale? Where can we buy it? And what is your aim with the book? And yeah, just give us market the book for us.
All right. You can order the book through my page. The website I'm still working on. I'm telling you, this is a really long process, but you can just message me and you can order the book from there. And what was the other question?
Yeah, where can we get the book? You said that. Yeah, that's fine. And what inspired you to do the book? And how many?
Well, the book wasn't just like it was my with my school we have to come up with a personal project, and when I got the opportunity, I was thinking smart. I wasn't gonna do something that wasn't like educational or didn't have an impact. So I always thought like I need to create an impact with this. So when I chose the book, I chose to make it for the younger generation, since they are my focus and they are our future and we are the future. So I thought that educating them, and then when others, like people my age, see me like doing this type of stuff, I think that's going to be very inspiring, because when I see others do stuff like this, I get inspired. So I think that when people see like
Yes, continue here.
I was distracted. So I think when people read the book, and like parents, like when I get invited to other schools trying to read the book to them, it's gonna create an impact without you even knowing. It's gonna have a huge impact on those
Yeah,
kids.
true.
They start asking questions. For example, when I went to primary school at Qatar Academy Doha, they were asking really good questions. You wouldn't expect it, but they were really, and they didn't know. They didn't know because no one talks about it. So they had no idea. And it's a really great feeling when you go into a classroom filled with students that have no idea about something, and you leave and you feel like, yeah, I actually taught them something very important, and that's something that needs to be talked about.
Wow. Can you just hold the book ahead? I would like to get a picture of it, and I want to put it up somewhere. A little closer to the screen. Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic. We are so proud of you, Maryam. It's really nice, and I wish you all the best with the book. Let's go back to Ihsan. Ihsan, please give us some more insights onto your the 7,000 cleanups. It's not a joke. Can you remember any of those cleanups? Like which was the most filthiest place, perhaps, or the most dangerous place you've been to for a cleanup, or even back home in Pakistan? Give us some places out there where you've cleaned I mean, not just beaches. You said you clean any places. Actually, that's fantastic. You don't just focus on beaches, because there's trash everywhere.
if you say about talking about danger, like and back in my country, there are some places like you can say a mini jungles where people come and they do their camping and all, especially in summer and all. Sorry, in
Okay.
winter. Uh, so uh, so I was the one walking back the next day and clean up their stuff and all, because what can we do? So these are the places, like it's not something like a normal places. I mean to say, there are wild animals and all, so we have to be careful. This is
Yeah.
the first thing, like I have to be careful, and I have to carry all the protective stuffs with me. And as well, the second thing is it's little difficult in Qatar solo cleanups when I'm doing cleanups, like you can say the side of Zikrit or some of the desert areas, where you can say like you can say Fuwairat, or in or other parts where there is like desert and all. So it's a little bit dangerous, where I most of time use my stick, because we have Qatari viper snack, we have scorpions, we have some other spiders,
Yes.
and
Yes.
many things come out in normally they come out in summer.
True.
And I advise also the people who go for cleanup or they go for any activity during summer, they have to be careful about all these things. So in danger, I can say these things. Uh, uh, I get many challenges many times in summer, hot summer. It's difficult. I use bigger gallon than that. I carry
True.
many things with me. My cutting scissor, my knife, digging things for tires, and also
Yeah.
I have to be look like a labor. I have to carry all these things with me.
Yes.
Difficult cleanups. And winter is also the same thing. Like it's a cold, especially in our country. It's cold. Even here, when you go in January, in evening time, it's very cold and windy
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So many challenges. I see many things. I see unbelievable, uh, like you can say, unacceptable humans actions. The way they throw plastics, pollutions in the sea and the places.
Mhm.
uh, I will not go so hard, but one thing I want to add, because I'm live already and people are looking at me. Uh, it's a chance for me. I don't want to point to anyone, but very important thing. Either I do clean up with the groups, I solo. Uh, for me, like if we talk about beach cleanups, we will say like 45 to 50%, or we can say 40, 60. The shore is bringing from other countries. All right, we will accept it, and some of we throw it also, and then we go and do cleanup. But when I come back to sand dunes and when I come back to bicycle tracks, Qatar made beautiful bicycle tracks, walking and running tracks
Yeah.
for the people. So I think like look at that. The government made a places for them to become healthy, right?
Yeah.
And when I carry my bag on bicycle tracks, either it's a Rasbowood or Al Khor, or there are many longer bicycle tracks. You will not believe that I finished 3 to 4 bags in 1 hour.
Wow.
Plastic bottles, plastic cans, chocolate wrappers, chips. I mean, you just name it. I mean, people, you are doing exercise to become healthy, and then you are the one making the environment unhealthy. It's not acceptable. So I
Yeah.
request to the people, please keep clean the sand dunes. These are the places where you bring your families with you to the weekends. Just bring one bag with you. When you finish
Yeah.
everything, put in that bag and trash it. And keep the bicycle tracks, Cornish, all the
Mm.
public places. Uh, this is the
Ehsan,
only request I
you
do.
made a very good point there, and we should use Qatari youth advocates like Maryam to even talk to Baladia and Ashgal to actually put more dustbins, put more signages, so that people would actually, I mean, we can educate them more, show them signages, and show them that there are uh, dustbins for them to put their garbage, get rid of their garbage. Because I do walk my dog Simba on the Rasabu Abud Road, and I
Yes,
see a lot of garbage there. And it's such a beautiful track to walk and cycle, and I see a lot of cyclists too.
yes, yes, yes.
But there aren't many garbage bins there, you know. So
There are, yes.
I pointed this out, but that doesn't take away you people. That doesn't give you the excuse to throw your garbage. And I
Yeah.
have seen people throwing garbage. Yeah, I have. And I have not been. I haven't told them anything, but next time I'll remember Ehsan and I will tell them, please, take the garbage here.
And I wanna add one point more. Uh, I will say, like, when there is a Friday, so most of the laborers community, they work 6 days. They come out to, especially they reach to the city, and they reach to the Cornish area and all. So what I did last before COVID, in 2018, before COVID, I I visited some of the labor camps evening time.
Yeah,
I request to their camp bosses and their supervisors that gather some of the people, like they gather 100 and 150 people. And
yeah,
as I know few languages like Hindi, Urdu, then I know my own language, Pashto, then I know English. So I use 3 to 4 languages that time and
yes.
explain them when you go to the Cornish how to do these things. So I'm thinking like thinking to
Let's do that.
start some to
Ehsan,
start some.
very nice
Sorry.
point. Please, Ehsan, very nice. I'd like to do this with you. We'd like to go. We'd like to go to some uh, camps and educate
Yes,
the
sir.
truck drivers, educate the workers about istidama and
Yeah.
uh, throwing your garbage in the proper places. That's a very nice initiative, Ehsan. Very nice point.
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh, let's go to Maryam. I have one last question for Maryam before we do the host swap. Maryam, could you give us a few names of your peers? Like, name a few youth environment advocates of your genre, your generation, or that you look up to, also that you your colleagues. Give it a shout out to them because I'd like to invite them in the future on the program.
Well, obviously, our main like inspiration, I'd say someone who was older than us. For all of us, not just me, for many of people my age, is Asha al-Maalid, and we can say Ghanem
Yes, yes.
al-Saghirti. Like, they're
Mm.
people we're very proud of, that are representing us and representing our community, because what they're doing is amazing. They're going out, and, like, for example, like, Asha's doing amazing, has an amazing initiative, creating a huge impact. And then, like, we could talk about Ghanem al of course, with his amazing, like, businesses, and, like, he's a very, like, it's very inspirational, and I think he was also one of our main inspirations. Like, when I first started, I did an interview with him to ask him a few questions, because I told you, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. But when I talked to him, I actually understood, and I felt like he taught me a lot of things, and he taught me a lot of things I never knew, and, like, stuff about Qatar I had no idea. um he showed me how his biodegradable, like, plastic worked, and how, the process and the steps. So I think, like, there are two main, like, strong, um I can call them sustainability freaks, uh,
Nice one.
in our
Yeah.
society, that have a huge impact. And then obviously people my age, and then I could talk about this little girl called Noura in our school. I'm very proud of her. Then there's also another one called Aisha al-Asmakh. They're young, but they're learning and they're educating others, which is exactly what we need. Like, it's something very impactful for all of us.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for this insights onto young environment advocates from Maryam. Now we come to a very exciting part of the show. Well, I've done this for this part has been included for over a year now. So now, Maryam and Ehsan, you get a chance to host the show. You get a chance to ask each other and myself and the host a question. And all I can say is be kind. Yeah. So let's start with Ehsan this time. Ehsan, what is your question for Maryam and for me? A question each, perhaps.
All right. So as you give me a chance, so I'll ask from Maryam. Uh, my question is, Maryam, like, I appreciate your contribution to sustainability and environment. On the very important part is educating the kids. Uh, my question is, you started with the first book. Do you have any planning to do like write more books, or I mean, Mazmoon 1, 2, 3? Are there some
Nice
more
question.
planning do you have?
That's a great question, and I'm not going to say that's a question I've been asked more than once. Of course, like that's why I focused on littering. But to more like for my next book, I can talk about like there are other things and other issues I can talk about, like energy efficiency, or it doesn't just have to be doesn't have to just focus on one, like the ocean. So yes, I'm hoping in the future when I have the time and energy to to work my brain again, because it was a very long process and a very hard process. Um, inshallah, in the future, I definitely am looking forward into publishing more books about educational. They have to be educational books about the environment. Definitely. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have a question from Bosco. My question from you, Bosco, it's a little bit hard. Maybe you'll just answer it or no. Let's see. My question from you that uh, when did you started? I mean, the eco life, you will say, or sustainable life, and what is your goal?
Wow. My goal with is sustainability.
Yes. When did
Yeah.
you start it, and what is your goal?
Well, to be very frank, I'm not living that much of a sustainable lifestyle, but I endeavor to do that. But sustainability, I was introduced to sustainability, or at least reduce and recycle, by my aunt in 1988 in Canada. So she segregates her garbage there, as they do in general. And she showed me about how they segregate their Pepsi cans, their plastic, their wet waste. And it's
Yeah. Decompose and
1988,
all. Yeah.
exactly, over 30, 33 or 35 years ago. So they differentiate their garbage, segregate their garbage. So
Yeah.
that's where I was introduced to sustainability, or recycling. And my goal is to reduce. Yes, that's how I'm using less plastic. I still use plastic, but I don't use I don't have single use plastic at all. So I'll use plastic more than once or thrice or four times. So if I pick up a meal from a restaurant, I'll wash the plastic and store something in it for, say, another a week or two, and then I'll get rid of it. That's also bad, but at least I don't use it. It's not a single use plastic. Yeah. So I'll say it there. Yeah. I'm no saint in plastic. Yeah, but I'm getting there.
That's great.
Let's.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. Mariam, what about you? What's your question for Ihsan and myself?
Okay, I'll start off with a question for Hassan. So you've obviously done 7,000 cleanups on your own, and then 1,000 like group cleanups, which obviously proves that you prefer cleanups on your own. And like, why is that? Like, why do you prefer
Uh,
cleaning up on your own rather than being with a big group?
no, actually, as I explained, that I did group cleanups as well. As today morning, I went to the Fasila uh, in Al Khor, Takaria. So I did group cleanups also. Solo cleanup is it's like it's whenever I'm discussing with people about solo cleanups, some people they're asking me question. Okay, we see the garbage bag with you. Are you working in municipality or something? So they're asking me some funny questions. I'm saying no, it's not about that. I'm working in municipality. It's about environment interest. So solo cleanup is what I'm getting from solo cleanup, that I get more, I just feel that I'm getting more energy from that. I don't know how to explain that one, but whenever I do solo cleanup, I feel so better. I feel a little bit satisfied. Okay, I'm doing something, some part uh, to the planet, or I'm aiding some of participation in the environmental activities. So uh, I would love to do, if I do solo cleanup. The final question for the final answer, I will say, like, if I do solo cleanup, I can say I will fill more bags than a group. In group, I will be more, you can say, like,
Wow.
diverted here, diverted there. So I'm alone. There is nothing. I can just hear the voice of water, or I can hear the voice of cars or birds, and I don't care. I'm just picking up trash, things, and all, and I feel better, feel more better. And
Yeah.
many eyes are looking at me. It's not about that. to show the people, oh look, I'm caring. Why you are not doing it? No, I'm not asking anyone. uh, Many people around, they are looking and they are getting it. You need to do also. So that's the best thing. I like it more,
Yeah.
solo cleanups. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
So for you, Bosco, so you why? So you do these hosting and you ask people questions. And like when COVID hit, you went like virtually. Why didn't you stop? Why did you continue with the virtual lifestyle? We know we all hate it. I don't think anyone likes the virtual lifestyle. So what, you know?
Well, nice question. Thank you, Maryam. Actually, I'm very proud of how you've been on the show, and you have great talent. And in fact, you should start a YouTube channel to promote your book and your sustainable life. And I'm gonna talk to Ghanem about you, and I'm also gonna tell Aisha. What I'd like to say is I started Big B Meetup pre-COVID, and we have four pillars. So we do events on sustainability, on art, on people who are differently abled. I call it this ability, not this, but this. THISABILITY.
Yep.
And I have an event. We also have an event on sports and wellness. So imagine I do physical events, and suddenly the pandemic hits me. Like, okay, now how do I earn my money? How do I survive? And I was hosted by another friend of mine on his program, and that's when I said, "Hey, let me take our show to the virtual world." And that's when in April 2020 we started virtual Big B Meetup, as opposed to Big B Meetup being physical pre-COVID. And my initial theme was coping with COVID. So for around 4 to 6 months, I went with coping with COVID, and then people got fed up of it. He said, can you not call it coping with COVID? So I went back to my other themes, and I went into broader themes. I had Qatar Charity as a partner. I had many other partners. In fact, our biggest support was from I Love Qatar and from Khalifa Harun. And the team at I Love Qatar have been very supportive. Many of the TV and radio channels have supported our initiative. So this is the 69th episode, and we continue to bring communities together even during COVID, because you don't want to be together during COVID, but pun intended, we'd love to bring people virtually together, and that's what we did. So that's why I went virtual, Maryam, and Virtue Real. Virtue Real is the event that you came on for at ISL, because I went live from the school on my social media channels, as well as we had people in the flesh, in physical. Yeah. So that's what I'll continue.
That's a great
Thank you
answer.
for that question.
Best of luck.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, we are come to the end of our program. I'd like to ask Maryam to just repeat her social media handles and just remind us about the book for one more time quickly. And Ihsan, give us your social media handle too. And then I'll come back to you, Maryam, for your message of love and peace, and your eco message, your green message for our audience. And the same thing with you, Ihsan. So, Maryam, your social media and
My social media handles are saveourocean.qa, and then I wrote the book. I am a writer of Let's Save Our Earth Together. You can you can find them and order them through my page. And yeah.
thank you, Maryam. Ihsan?
I Most of the time I'm using for the post as well, Instagram. My Instagram is based on Ihsan Malik photography, but it's both. Like I do photography, then environmental photography. I introduce it first time, and then it's a solo cleanup. So it's at the rate DOH means Doha, but there is no A in the last. DOH 186. In the Facebook, it's Facebook slash city tour, Doha city tour. As I'm a local guide also. So
Wow.
at the rate
Fantastic. You're a local
DOH
guide.
186.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Ehsan, also, I forgot, I'm so, and apologies, Ehsan, I forgot to mention you're a wonderful photographer. And I think you've been photographing a lot of DEAP beach
Yep.
cleanups, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what Shreya has told me. Because I've taken pictures a couple of times. And then Shreya said, I don't think so. We are missing you because we have a wonderful photographer now, who's Ehsan. I said, oh, that's
Mhm.
great. Have you managed to buy your camera, Ehsan, which you were looking for?
As I was discussing with you, but I did not upgrade my camera because I'm a little busy in some of the things. I start some small projects regarding
Okay.
environmental activities and other work and
Okay.
all. But I'm keeping my camera in the car whenever I'm getting some places. I'm taking
Yes,
photos.
that's good.
I'm seeing garbages, taking photos. Uh,
That's lovely.
I see some beautiful birds and all things. I'm taking photo. I mean, Instagram. I'm keep posting it mix. I mean, photos,
Yeah,
then cleanups, then some environmental activities,
that's nice.
bottles and can machines. I mean, the life is
Yeah,
going on. We
true,
have to be we have to show people that we have hobbies also, and then we have goals also in the life.
true.
Yeah.
Mariam, your message of love and peace as we end the show, and then I'll go to Ehsan.
Let's let San start. I'm thinking of one.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to Ehsan. Ehsan,
Love and
yeah,
peace. Qatar is beautiful place. I will really say I visited most of beaches. Qatar have 19 beautiful beaches and 4 big mangroves. Please keep it clean and stay safe.
very nice message. Beautiful message, Ehsan. Mariam,
All right, so I'll say mine until Ihsan comes up. Okay. So I would say that listen to the voice of the youth, give us a voice, educate each other, because if we don't start now, we're never going to start.
wow. Mariam, you speak like way older than what you are right now. You have great wisdom, great wisdom. I can actually see you in the MOECC in maybe 5 years' time.
Hopefully.
You're going to change things in this
Inshallah.
country. You're going to change things in this country. Lovely. It was a pleasure to host you, Mariam, and it was a pleasure to host you, Ehsan.
Thank you
I'd
so much.
definitely like to talk to you again, Ehsan, about being a tour guide in Doha. Fantastic job, guy.
So
Fantastic, great. And Mariam, I can't wait to get my hands on your book. And I'd like to already speak to a couple of other schools where I'd like them to host you so that you can introduce the book to young kids of the other schools that I know of. Yeah, I'll talk more about that offline
Thank you
in a
so much.
couple of days. Yeah, and thank you, your audience. I hope you'll enjoyed Qatar Environment Day today and kept it clean. Yeah, keep the environment clean, guys, because it's all that we have. And